Hey y'all, it's me, Pepita, and this is Pepita's Journey. So today we're going to be talking about treats. But before we get started on that, can you please subscribe, like, share, or if you're listening to this, could you please rate my podcast? And thank you so much. And now let's talk about treats. So, I'm going to be telling you about my 5 treats that I like. One of them I haven't truly tried completely yet, but like I halfway tried it, if it makes any sense. So, like, it's going to be my kind of countdown today. So, I'm going to start with and if you would like any of these recipes, you can get them off of Pepita's Journeys, and they're going to be on my blog about treats. So you go to pepitasjourney.com, and you'll click on my blog, and then you'll obviously click on the one that says treats. So I hope you enjoy. So number 5 is cheesecake. Oddly, because I hadn't had time to make the cheesecake, but let's be real. I don't know if you guys know, my husband is a chef, so usually he's the one making these things. And so we hadn't had the time to make the cheesecake, but he did make me for Thanksgiving some pumpkin cheesecake bites that I truly enjoyed. So I was like, how am I not going to enjoy the keto cheesecake? And yes, all these recipes I'm giving you are keto friendly, just in case, you want to know. Because since I'm still on keto, um, until Sunday, because my birthday's on Tuesday and I'm going to Vegas. So, that is when I'm going to be living my best life and enjoying myself. Not that I don't enjoy myself on keto, but like I just don't want to think of myself as being on a diet, on a diet. And so for me, it would be much easier to just be a little carefree. If I want a donut, I get a donut. Even though gluten sometimes can bother me, I just kind of want to say F it and let's enjoy life. You only live once anyway, right? So, but cheesecake has always been my all-time favorite. Now, I was contemplating going, because today is actually Valentine's Day when I'm recording this. But the way my lifestyle is, sometimes I just do not have the time that I think I want to have. So I'm trying to catch up and knock out my videos today. Because, like, I'm a hairstylist, so my Friday and Saturday, and I also even work on Sundays. So I'll be working straight through until, like, it's time for me to leave for my trip. So, as I was saying, I love cheesecake. Oh my goodness. I have no doubt that I'm gonna love this keto cheesecake. I have not ever hated a cheesecake, so I just don't see that even being possible. So, and most of these keto friendly things, I quite enjoy. So, like, even though I will be stepping out on keto for a moment for while I'm in Vegas because I'm be living my best life. So, but I think with cheesecake for me, cheesecake has always been one of my favorite things. Like, that was my dad's staple. For every holiday, he made cheesecake. I thought I liked carrot cake as a kid, but I realized, yeah, I was a weird kid. But I think I just love buttercream. But I love, like, my favorite memory is like Thanksgiving when my dad made cheesecake. That was always the best to me. And I remember when we weren't talking, my dad, like, me and my dad have very similar personalities, so sometimes we can butt heads. So, like, one year for Thanksgiving, I was 8. Was that 18 or 19? I think it was 19. Not that that even matters, but we were not talking at that moment in life, and we both can be hella petty. Like, we, when we want to be mad at somebody and we don't want to talk to them, we're just not. It's not gonna be like, oh, Peter, come on, or like if it's my dad, they'll be like, they call him by his middle name, and they'll be like, boy, yeah, man, you know better, and he don't care, and neither do I. So I think that's when it's hard when you got two people like that, and then they're both in a disagreement, and they're just not ready to talk. But even though we're both like that, we're still very like, even if we're like, oh, we're done with you, we still care about you. Like, we're not going to leave you out there. So, this Thanksgiving, I at the time I was living in South Carolina, and him and my brother were living in Oklahoma, so I had actually came to visit, but we weren't talking, so we were like, he was like, no, I ain't even gonna see you. I'm like, I don't care, even though I did care, obviously, but like, I just was not gonna like, I was not showing my feelings with him. So my brother was like, Dad gave me this huge plate. And I'm like, dang, it looked like he gave you double the amount of food, which he did on purpose. Because he was like, yeah, he gave me 2 pieces of cheesecakes and everything. And I ain't never got 2 pieces of cheesecake, but you can have my second one because I know you love it. And I was like, I'm going to have that second piece. I don't care how mad I am at my dad. I'm like, I was willing to apologize just so I could have the cheesecake, but he gave me the chance where I could have my out and just have it. Oh my goodness. I was just like, all right, this is what we're going to do. So I ate the cheesecake, but eventually we started talking. He was like, how'd you like my cheesecake? I was like, how'd you know I ate it? He was like, because I definitely gave him an extra one for you. And I thought it was like hilarious. So, me and cheesecake go way back, I guess. And to me, like, it has a lot to do with, I guess, my dad always making an awesome cheesecake. And I think that's when I knew I was going to marry my husband, because for this, he found out I love cheesecake. And then, like, the second birthday of me being with him, he made me fried cheesecake. I was like, oh, you just took cheesecake to a whole nother level. So I definitely was like, if you don't ask me to marry you eventually, I'm going to have to ask you. But he definitely did. And so that's how I know the keto cheesecake is just going to be fabulous. I think that's why that was one was I was like, I don't have to rush into making it. The other ones I did, like, kind of feel like I needed to make them to make sure, like, if I stand by, like, cheesecake, I have no doubt that I'm gonna love it. It really should have been number 1, but since I hadn't truly tried it, I didn't feel like I can completely stand behind it. But I did try the pumpkin keto cheesecake bites, and they were fabulous. So I was like, what is plain keto cheesecake gonna taste like? Wonderful. So like with that, I was just like, oh, okay, cool. That's not gonna be an issue. I'm gonna enjoy. And then I think for me, it's a treat, but it can also be breakfast, which is number 4. Actually, my number 4 and number 3 can both be breakfast too, but they're awesome treats. So number 4 is my berries parfait, and you can do these 2 different ways. So the parfait, you can either use plain Greek yogurt that's made with like whole fat milk, or I think it's like 5% milk or something like that. but I believe it's like if you look at the label, it'll have the fewest amount of carbs. So you'll use the Greek yogurt with the fewest amount of carbs, and it's going to be plain. Or you can use I use whole um, cottage cheese. So you can use either or, and with both of them, you can add vanilla and stevia drops, and it's delightful. But with the cottage cheese, in the recipe it will say that you can blend up the cottage cheese to make it more yogurt like. So either way, I've I've eaten the cottage cheese not blended, and I just loved it. I don't know if you're a cottage cheese lover, but I've been a cottage cheese lover since Golden Corral days. Like, I feel like everybody who, or like, because I was born in the 90s, so like, Golden Corrals was real. Like, oh my goodness. If I go, if I think back to like my Golden Corral days, or Western Sizzler, or any buffet place that has a salad bar, or just salad bar days. I don't know what happened to my salad bars. Because, like, I don't know about y'all grocery stores, but, like, some of my fave grocery stores have salad bars, and I still like to, like, go to them. It's just, like, nostalgia. Because, like, it's down to the point where, like, the grocery stores nearby me, I rate them. There's 3 of them that I love for their salad bar, and I got them in order. But, so I've been eating cottage cheese for as long as damn, my dad, excuse my language, he introduced me to cottage cheese too. So, so like I don't mind the taste of cottage cheese. I know some people it's a texture thing. Like my husband, he can't stand cottage cheese. So I told him he can either blend it or use our Greek yogurt and just mix the stevia drops and the vanilla in it. And I know some people, Nikki, I'm shouting you out on another video. So shout out to Nikki. She was one of the people who was like, she's nervous about stevia drops because it's either under sugared or over sugared. And I completely understand because when I first, like, most of the recipes I saw, when I first started using them, I was like, oh my goodness, Jesus, this is sweet. So I like to start off slow, then work my way up. I like, even if that means I have to try it like 3-4 times. So like for me, I only put like a drop of stevia in my Greek yogurt or cottage cheese because I just don't like it when it's too sweet. Personally, I enjoy more of the savory parts of it. So, and then I also, if you want to make it a little fancier, you can sprinkle a little cinnamon on it, and it's so bomb. And throw some nuts on there too if you want to. I really go all out sometimes. I find that it's an awesome treat or an awesome breakfast. It's just truly delightful to me. And then the other one I love is the Keto peanut butter milkshake. This was actually the first recipe that we found because we was like, what do we got in this house? And we had everything for this recipe, oddly, and it was so good. And you can actually drink this for breakfast if you want to. But I always had it as a treat because it's called a milkshake. But some people call it a smoothie too. So, to each his own. I have. I can't say that there was a time that I didn't like peanut butter in my life. I will say that with using all natural peanut butter, It's a little grittier, but I've come to really enjoy it. You just got to make sure you stir up your peanut butter really good because it will get that oil on top and then it can be hella thick. Like, ooh, it's thicker than I already am right now, but luckily I've lost weight. You can basically say I'm the peanut butter has been stirred. But so like once you stir it, it makes it a little bit more smoother and a little bit more movable in a way. Like it's it's easier to use and it's not so thick and won't be like sticking to the roof of your mouth. And you're like, goodness, why am I eating it like this? So, and I've also come to like, I imagine it would taste just as good if you want to use almond butter instead. I use both natural almond butter or peanut butter. I just find that peanut butter is a little bit cheaper. So it's just really like whatever your bank account, your budget is set up like. If you either way, it tastes really good. So that was my number 3, and then we're gonna go ahead and move on to number 2. And number 2 kind of has 2 names. Like my husband is a big fan of Almond Joys, and he kind of came up with his own fudge. So it's basically his almond fudge, his almond joy fudge, or as I called it on Instagram, because I have posted this, but I called it coconut my coconut almond fudge. Either way it goes. I just didn't know if we can say almond joy fudge as if we own the copyrights to that name. I don't, you know. But I loved it. It tastes so good. Um, it's very enjoyable in my opinion. It's kind of savory, but it doesn't feel like you're eating something halfway healthy in my opinion. So, and because my last, not that anybody needs to know about my cycle, but I decided to try to do my cycle because usually I take a break during my cycle, and I decided to like, let's not do that this time. So I was eating that during my cycle, and I didn't feel bad. Um, it was actually like a way of not craving real chocolate. Even though when I usually take a break, I don't get chocolate. I just have like oranges. So this is my way of kind of having like a happy medium without having like a lot of carbs. So I truly enjoyed it, and he was able to make kind of like some condensed milk out of, I can't remember what he made it out of, honestly. I know he used like acrylite or stevia, and it was really good. I find that I like acrylite a little bit more than stevia because it has like, the stevia drops don't really have a big aftertaste. But like when you're making like baking goods or something of that nature, I find that acrylite has less of an aftertaste than the bacon stevia. And that comes to matter with my number 1, which is the zucchini brownie. Oh my goodness. I could just eat a whole pan. I love it. You can also do the zucchini brownies as muffins. So either way, delightful. I found that it tasted better with the acrylite than because we made it twice. We probably should have made the keto cheesecake, but I was like, the muffins were bomb, so I had to go back and try the second kind. So, because the first time we tried them as muffin, and they were really good, and we're like, we got to try it as a whole brownie, and they were still really delightful. And I didn't feel like I was eating zucchini. I was like, man, I could just smash a couple of these and not feel bad. But since we're working on control, I did not smash more than 2 at a time. Because I feel like, I don't feel bad for going back for seconds. But once you start going back for thirds, fourths, and fifths, just eat the whole damn thing. Excuse my language once again. Like, What are you doing in your life, Peter? What are you doing in your life when we don't want to binge the keto friendly food? So I hope you enjoyed my list today. And please remember, if you have an issue with portion control too, I would say do the muffins first with the zucchini brownies. And then, do your whole sheet of brownies next so you don't accidentally eat them all. But also, don't feel so guilty. It's always a work in progress with treats, especially when you're trying to come down, because sometimes I will find an excuse for anything. So, like, sometimes if I step out on keto, I'll be like, oh, my client bought that. I could have said no, but I knew I wanted it, so that's why I didn't say no. And so don't so always know to still no. There's always another day to correct yourself. It's a day by day thing. You don't have to like just you know. It's just like with anything. It's going to be a process. So I hope that you enjoy these treats. I I hope you like them, and then I also hope that I don't want you to overeat them, but if you did a little bit, don't feel so bad. Don't be so harsh on yourself, because you know what? Everybody overeats now and then, and if you're an emotional eater, try not to have these snacks nearby during that time. Like I found that I had recently overeaten emotionally eaten some salad, and that's so much better than doing like a bunch of treats and stuff. And also know that it is okay to treat yourself every blue moon. Like treat yourself. You know, you can't be perfect all the time. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you enjoy these treats. Please let me know by commenting below if you enjoyed them or what you thought you could tweak, or if you found a way to make it taste better. And then again, if you want the recipes, please go to pepitasjourney.com and you'll click on my blog, and then you'll click on the one about treats. And y'all have an awesome day. Happy Valentine's Day. And if it's after Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day again. And y'all have a great one. And again, please subscribe, like, share. And if you're listening to this, please rate my podcast. Thank you so much. And y'all have an awesome one. Bye-bye.